Yeah, I guess it falls under behind the cape. So, behind the cape, go ahead and give us your Star Wars takes. 'Cause I don't know.
Oh, well, I mean, not necessarily my take, but the projects of Kevin Feige and Patty Jenkins, I thought it was Star Wars projects, are both being canceled, which is not really news to anyone who's been paying attention to Lucasfilm. I mean, I think, Patty Jenkins is not the hottest name in Hollywood as of yet. I think I said that all the way back after Wonder Woman 3. Kevin Feige has his own fires to put out. This is not a time where you're going to be getting a lot of levity to do your pet projects at a neighboring studio within the company. It's just not.
Well, he's trying to take it all over, so you know.
But that's why I felt like him even giving that quote at this time, it's hubris. To think that you are going to be telling people that you're aspiring to be the Marvel boss of all Marvel bosses at a moment where your own house is currently on fire doesn't feel like everybody in the room is fully grasping it. Maybe this was the wake up call. Maybe he thought it was going to happen. I couldn't understand why. If it wasn't going to be something like either, restarting a new trilogy, or maybe he gets the first couple iterations of the meshing between Grogu and what is rumored to be Rey's return. If it's not something that's going to set them on a new course, something that's going to set them up, and it's just going to be another one of those standalone projects, another solo. No, nah, I'm not here for it, because that stuff wasn't good. You had Rogue One, everything else, all of the other standalone stuff wasn't. Even the Lando series or the Lando movie that was, rumored to be coming out, I didn't, or it was supposed to be, but I'm assuming has since been scrapped. I wasn't there for it. You know what I mean? My level of anticipation wasn't there.
I can see, and obviously, again, I don't know much about Star Wars, but I can see a Lando Calrissian with either Childish Gambino or the black guy who could read minds in Ant-Man.
That's who it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be Childish Gambino. It was supposed to be Donald Glover, but it never came to pass.
Yeah.
The other thing that is happening is that Lucasfilm is being sued. There's a TV show that's supposed to be coming out of Disney Lucasfilm relatively soon, I think, within the next year or so, called The Acolyte. And there was I think she's a VFX artist. Comments will correct me if I'm wrong. But essentially, she was let go, right? And how they did it was, she was offered this big multi-year $1 million contract at another studio. I think it was at Apple. Right? And when she went back to Disney to see what they could counter or what was going on, they told her that she was going to have this huge role on Acolyte, and it was going to be a multi-season deal, and, they wanted to keep her, and blah, yada, yada, right? So she turns down the Apple deal, stays with Disney, and then she ends up getting booted. Kathleen Kennedy, right? Ends up booting her off of the project for some reason or another. Where I don't know if it was Kathleen Kennedy directly, but that's who's being named in the suit.
Yeah. Okay.
So she ends up getting booted from the project like a week later. But the project has canceled. They're still making Acolyte as of right now. They're still making it, just not with old girl.
Okay.
So what she is claiming is that basically Disney baited her into not being an asset for Apple for that opportunity, but really had no intention on securing her employment for the Acolyte. That's her side of it. I think that they announced that she was part of the project. I think that's why she has such a case here. So then why do this? Why are you playing these games? And the only benefit to me seems that they were more interested or more vested in stifling the process of a competitor's project than they were focusing on their own, which is odd to say the least.
Very odd.
Whew. Star Wars Celebration can't come fast enough, can it, folks?
Ugh. Okay, so before we get into Marvel, let's also talk about DC. Shazam is coming up,
Ooh.
and you seem to not give a shit.
No, not at all.
We not reviewing that one.
I mean, I'll probably go see it, or well, I will see it eventually. I don't know. I just don't know, man. Because March is an underrated month.
Yeah,
but there are some good movies, interesting movies that I want to see.
There's definitely going to be one we have to review.
I'm definitely going to see John Wick.
Okay.
I mean, I'm so excited to see John Wick.
Yes.
I might camp out at the theater. I want to see 65. I know that hasn't gotten the best reviews.
The Adam Driver movie
hasn't gotten the best reviews, but the concept is interesting to me. Plus, if you guys could see around this room, I'm drowned by dinosaurs 24/7. So maybe that's why I'm so interested.
Anyway, the reason I asked is just because it doesn't seem like there's a lot of hype going into Shazam. It seems like most of the hype is going towards either the Flash. Oh, the Flash is in June.
They neutered
the Flash or Aquaman.
They neutered Shazam in so many ways, right? By trying to embarrass The Rock and his power struggle for whatever characters he had a hold of in DC. You still have the universe. You have all the other characters for him to play with that he wants to play with, and you don't have to play ball unless he plays ball. So even if he was bitching and moaning about being in a movie with Shazam, eventually you would have been able to leverage him, or we're just not going to make the movies. But instead, you just wanted to axe them all together and throw them away. What would make Shazam interesting? Maybe a villain that we give a damn about.
Yeah.
I was looking at Lucy Liu back in 2003 at Charlie's Angels, fam. Ain't nobody checking for Lucy Liu right now. Ain't nobody checking for Lucy Liu right now.
There was somebody that tweeted, and I can't find the tweet anymore now, but they basically tweeted out a poll on what people thought Shazam was going to make. And it started off from like 200 to 300 million and then made its way up to like 500 plus.
I would say 500 million is probably the max I would give Shazam 2.
Total revenue.
And that would, to me, that would be on the high end. I don't think this movie I don't even think it crosses its predecessor. Because at least there was some intrigue around it now. Mm-hmm. Now that we know who the Billy Batson character is and we know kind of roughly what's going to be around it, you're not taking us too far from where we left off in the last movie. Mm-hmm. It's not engaging. It's not pushing the audience anywhere. It's kind of the same movie you just did.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, they just kind of shot themselves in the foot, at least as it pertains to that. And on top of that,
it's one of the holdover movies, so nobody expects it to be going into the next iteration of things. Anyway.
Blue Beetle is supposed to lead into the next one, isn't it? Or no?
I think Blue Beetle is the closest thing, because when Gunn got named president, it was already started production. So he didn't cancel like he did Batgirl. So it has a chance to still have Gunn's new direction on it because it was still being made during that transition. Mm-hmm. Okay. But Shazam, Aquaman 2, which I'm sure you'll get to next, those movies are not getting the only holdover movie that's getting that type of excitement is Flash. And that's going to take us somewhere else. Yeah. Right? That's the only reason why people are interested. Because that movie is going to leave us in a different place than we started in.
Aquaman, there is a little bit of hype going into it, but it would seem that...
In the Aquaman?
A little bit.
Shit.
I would say after the Flash, Aquaman probably had the most.
Hell no, man.
What else had any more than that? James Gunn himself didn't name.
I'm not saying that there is another project that's far and away is better. I'm just saying Aquaman was dead on the doorknob the minute that they made Mira an integral part of the movie, because now you have to find a way to push this and market it with one of the most unmarketable people in America at the moment. Yeah. Like it was dead.
No, for sure.
It was dead after that, and the trial and the details that came out with all of that stuff between her and Depp only made it worse. Right? It's not like Mira was an exceedingly popular character from the first movie, and the first movie was successful. Mm-hmm. But now with all of that around it, she had a bigger role in this movie. They decided not to recast her and start over. So that kind of the writing was on the wall for me at that point.
Oh, sure.
And the reports of people walking out of test screenings, while it's not surprising to me. It's not surprising to me.
Well, especially with the supposed plot of what the movie may be.
Oh yeah. So they're supposed to. So like 2/3 of the movie is Aquaman pleading to the UN about what fucking global warming and pollution.
Yeah.
Hey, look, man, I promise you, I am not a climate denier, and pollution is a serious thing, especially in poor communities because we live closest to the shit. But no, you're not about to make a Captain Planet, a superhero movie about environmental advocacy.
Yep.
What are we doing? What is actually happening right now?
We're making Captain Planet the movie.
No, what is up?
We're making Captain Planet the movie.
And you know what? If you don't watch that movie, you're a climate denier. You're a climate denier, and you're a shill for the fossil fuel companies. Oh, but you know that's what they're gonna say. They're gonna march that director and that writer right out there in front of the press and say, "Very interesting of you. This is very interestingly different. It's very differently different." To quote Tanara Double Chocolate. You see how different it is? It's very differently different.
Everyone's creative.
Everything's so creative. You see the way it kind of looks like a superhero movie, but it's not. You see the way that they're kind of like fighting crime, but they're not. That and they're gonna say that. They're gonna say, you know, we went a different direction and we had to make something true and something that felt honest to us and you know, the world around us and you know, global warming and blah 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 blah. And if you don't like it, then I guess you're just one of those climate deniers, or I guess you're just one of the and that's how it's gonna be.
How ironic that they're putting a UN scene in there.
Because you don't
like
put
Wakanda Forever.
Oh my! Well, it seems like the UN scene is going to be a substantial part of the movie, but in any case, you don't put something like that into the movie and make it such an overarching message or such a strong-handed message, unless you have a strong opinion on it, and then you're naturally going to resent any type of criticism as to the degree that you are delivering that message. With how much force are you trying to push your own thought process or your own politics? I came here to see people get blown up, things explode, and the good guy triumph in the end. Maybe he has some troubles in the middle of all of that actually build him up to be the powerhouse he is at the end of the movie. Man, now I know I probably said something complicated to a lot of y'all, but that's just all it is. It's not filet mignon. It's not caviar. It's a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, fam.
Yeah.
You put the peanut butter on one side, you put the jelly on the other, you mash it together, and then you eat it. These folks are trying to make creme brulee when I just want a bowl of cereal.
If you want to be fancy, just toast the bread before you make the peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
You know what I'm saying? Put a little butter in the pan, put it down, flip it over.
Still give me my peanut butter and jelly sandwich that I asked for.
No, these motherfuckers done took the sandwich, put it in the blender. They done created a peanut butter and jelly puree.
Ew, no,
that we will spread over communion crackers.
Yo, El Muerto, starring Bad Bunny, is reportedly very unlikely to make its January 12th, 2024 release date.
You know what? You know what I'm about to do? I'm about to give Sony some slack for two reasons. Number one, and I will continue to reiterate this until it is not true. From Far Way Home until now, Sony's been making better movies than the MCU. That's about almost a 4-year period. With No Way Home and Far From Home, the last two Spider-Man movies have been better than anything the MCU has put out post-Endgame, and that is a fact. So I'm going to give Sony a little bit of leeway for that because they've been proving it as of late. Well, I mean, they did do Venom and Morbius.
I was going to say Morbius is... Yikes.
Okay, I'm still giving them credit for those Spider-Man movies, though, because those were over Billy's, and those were well received critically and by the fans. So those were smashes.
Yeah.
Marvel hasn't had many of those. I don't think they've had any of those since that. Also, I seen Bad Bunny act in Bullet Train. Mm-hmm. So I have about 60% of confidence that he can actually pull this off.
Yes,
I have to see him in a role where he has most of the speaking lines. Unfortunately, the first time that will happen is probably in this movie.
And it'll probably be in Spanish. Unless he's learning English from Kendall Jenner.
It'll be a lot of Spanish in it, but they're making an American movie, so I mean I don't think it'll be.
Unless he's been taking English classes with Kendall Jenner.
Does he speak English very well? Have you ever?
I've never heard him speak English.
Yo, maybe he does. He's speaking Bullet Train. You know what? No, he spoke Spanish. He was speaking Spanish. Yo, are they gonna try to do the whole movie in Spanish?
Yep. And you're gonna have to see it either subbed or dubbed.
Hey, fam, he better be doing some narco shit. That's the only way I'm up here. Hey, it better be Narcos or Attack on Titan like.
Yo, I
don't be having time, man. Niggas be trying to have these long drawn out conversations with all this nuance in the conversation. No, fuck, I didn't. Damn it! You did this what? What'd you do to the dog?
Yo.
Oh, did you hear Agatha
Covenant Chaos?
Of Chaos? Of Chaos. That one's been pushed back to like 2025.
Oh shit.
Oh.
I did not hear that.
Moving all those back. I think out of the few that we thought we were going to get, Agatha, Echo, yeah, that one's been pushed as well. I thought Agatha was going to be the most likely one to come out because not only had it already started filming, but they had another show tied to it in that Mephisto thing with Sacha Baron Cohen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's gonna be a minute.
You mean we already have footage and there's another production tied to it and it's still delayed?
Yep.
Okay. They're having problems over there, man.
They are, no, for sure.
Let's talk about the biggest delay.
The Marvels?
Yeah.
According to the Den of Nerds, he says, and I quote, "Bruh, according to reports, The Marvels is a shit show and Brie and Tiana Paris are clashing. That would be wild on Brie's part because fans actually like Monica."
Hey, check this out. Respect to, what is his name?
Den of Nerds?
No,
his name is Den of Nerds.
His name is not Den of Nerds. He has an actual name. I think it's Josh. Is it Josh? Josh at Den of Nerds?
I know he's from Ohio.
Is he for real?
Mm-hmm.
What's the name? Lived here for a little while. Comics Explained.
Really?
Yep.
But yeah, no, his name is, it's Dan. Dan of Nerds.
Dan of Nerds.
That's a joke. His name is not Dan.
Can you tell me what this man's name is? I really think it's Josh.
It's Den of Nerds.
Anyways.
It actually, you know what? I actually kind of do think it's Josh.
It's Josh. Okay. So, no disrespect to Josh and you know, his scoops and his opinion on Brie Larson. All right? And this doesn't have anything to do with that. My boy Chillmonger. If Brie Larson has beef with Tiana Paris, me and you have to fight in a TLC match. I will fight on Tiana Paris's honor. You can fight for Brie Larson, and we can run the clicks up that way.
We can do one of those combined lives.
Yeah. Yep. We can do it anywhere. You want me to come up to Canada? I'll come up to Canada. You know what I mean? We'll come down to Ohio. We can do it anywhere. Because what we're not going to do, we can talk about the name, right? Whether or not it should be Captain Marvel, whether or not it should be The Marvels, whether or not Brie Larson should be upset with that, whether or not she should actually push, for that. We was on the 33 burning questions, where I was yesterday, and we talked about it a little bit. I was of the thinking that if the strategy was to try to curb some of the fan automatically criticism or the hate watching or the trolling of Brie Larson and calling it Captain Marvel 2, we were changing it to the Marvels to kind of balance it out. So now that she has an ensemble cast around her, if that was the thinking, I think that's smart, because I don't want to put Brie Larson in a situation, because I know how she reacts in said situations, where she's in a she has to be going back and forth with the fans. I don't want to have to put her in a spot of having her movie review bombed or having her movie, you know, have all this negative conversation around it before it even gets a chance to be seen. Right? That's not advantageous for her. And everything that has been in terms of fan reception post her billion one, I think it was, debut into the MCU has been somewhat controversial. Now you can say, oh, the fans are on her back. Fans won't leave her alone. It's petty fan stuff. That's fine. One person here is making millions of dollars and can essentially ignore it because they still have a job and they're still getting the role and they're still getting the project and they're still the lead. Regardless of what the damn movie is called, you are still the lead character. There's no amount of twisting around the script or adding to the cast that's going to change the fact that you are still the lead in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So we can either do what makes it best for the movie as a whole so that it's received well. And oh, now look, you get the residual effects of everyone liking the movie. You get to step away from everybody saying, oh, it was only popular because it was in between $2 billion films. Then, you know, after that, after you sell the movie, you want to go back to being snarky saying, oh, they hate me, so I guess I won't come back. Then, you know, that's your business. But when you're trying to sell a product and going back and forth, I call it antagonizing, but going back and forth, engaging in that type of vitriol with the fans is not good. It's not smart. It's not good for the company. It's not good for you as an actor who needs to have a more positive reputation with the people you are expecting to show up and pay money to see you. I don't care if you hate every single one of us. You better act like you like me when you in the press. I don't care if you hate me. When you are in front of any type of access media asking about superhero stuff, you better act like Marvel fans are God's gift. That's just how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so you get to reap the benefit to the tune of $20+ million for acting in a film without any criticism or any expectation that you acquiesce to the people who are giving you that money. Come on, man. I'm gonna say it. There has been undue kind of vitriol around Brie Larson, and I can see that. I am just saying she don't do herself any favors at all. None. As a person who knows that, she just invites it, and I think she likes it to a certain degree. I think she's one of those people who likes the muck.
Thrive on that shit.
She just likes it, and that's okay. It's a personality trait. She close to being a petty queen. She might get her card, but petty queens know when to play it.
Yeah.
You just not petty for the sake of petty. You petty when it's advantageous to you. That's why it's petty. Pick your spots a little bit better.
Yeah, not against Tiana Paris.
Straighten up. Because the narrative that was being pushed was, oh, the addition of Imani Vallon and Tiana Paris was Brie Larson's idea. She wanted it to be an ensemble cast. She wanted to share the screen. She wanted to, you know, have the pro woman movie, right? That's what the narrative was. So don't let it change into, hey, yo, what's up with old girls over here? This is my thing. Yeah, no, I said they could be in the movie. I didn't say I was going to share. I just said they could be here.
Nah, keep that same energy.
Yeah, that's not what you need. That's not even what you want to be out in the atmosphere. You don't want that to be of question.
Mm-hmm.
And to her credit, I haven't seen it. They looked fine at the variety shoot, but then again, they're actors.
Sure.
They're actors.
Yeah.
So I don't even know how much to pull from that. All I'm saying is, it is not a good thing. On top of what you are also willing to do and say publicly about the fans, it's not a good thing to hear that you are clashing with a character who arguably is more popular. Like, I can't argue at all because I have nothing to base it off of that Monica is more of a draw. But in terms of fan reception, who are fans more comfortable with, who interacts better with fans, who has the better track record with fans, it's Tiana Paris, no question. You don't want to be coming off to actors that people have an affinity for that actually like have a natural relationship. Imani Vellana is another one. Like, you don't want to be in the middle of that with your stuff. Talking about, oh, this is, you know, the movie should be called Captain Marvel 2. It doesn't look good. The optics aren't good.
Yeah.
And they don't do anything for a person who already has controversial optics.
So last week we discussed the potential synopsis for Captain America New World Order, and you were a little upset that there's going to be potentially a new Falcon. Well, it seems that they already have their official Falcon, who is Danny Ramirez, who was played by Joaquin Torres in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
I don't know who it was in the comments last week, so we'll put it up for sure. That they reminded me that dude, he was like his agent, the one who went out and tried to find Burt Trock when he was at all the rallies and stuff like that. Yeah, no, I still don't want that. Yeah. Like I understand. Okay, no, it's canon. It's fine. If I want Sam Wilson to prove his chops as a leader, it's not going to be by making Baby Falcon. It's not going to do anything for me. Leading an Avengers team, leading an ensemble of actual established heroes. Yes, that is it.
You don't want to do it.
Now, if you're giving me some sort of coming of age or some type of ascension story behind Sam Wilson, so like we can look at it adjacent to each other. We can see Sam Wilson establishing himself as a leader of men, and then we see a young man becoming a man. That's Elijah Bradley. That's Elijah Bradley. He's the perfect age for it, and the congruence of those two timelines run perfectly with each other. But you got Torres, who is already a man, right? Who's already a government operative. He's too close to Sam already. If Sam teaches him how to fly in them damn wings, what stops him from being Sam? And oh, well, Sam's a leader. How did Sam prove he was a leader? He trained Torres.
Neither one of them have the super soldier serum.
It's okay. If y'all don't understand what I'm talking about, Daredevil fans, if they give you Daredevil Born Again and they put Elektra in the Daredevil suit in the first season, are y'all going to be happy with that? If there's any Daredevil derivative in the first season of Daredevil Born Again, are y'all going to be happy with that? So why in Falcon's first movie does he have to have a derivative in the movie? What did Nate Moore say? Oh, he's still got to earn it. I guess he's going to earn it by babysitting
a grown man.
Come on, man. Come on. Do better.
Speaking of Daredevil Born Again, seems like they started filming, which still doesn't really give us a timeline on when they're going to release it. But
did you see that there was some more news about Daredevil Born Again? Your boy John Bernthal. I'm nervous, y'all. I'm nervous. Disney has not proven that they can make a TV show that resembles anything that has to do with the Punisher or Daredevil. And the taste that we've got of Daredevil thus far has done nothing to convince me that they understand it has to be different than what they've already done. What I have seen from Daredevil in the MCU so far, which was brief appearance in No Way Home and then his cameo in She-Hulk, that doesn't say, okay, they get it. We're going to get something different. That is going to be a totally different feeling show. You know what's going to let me know whether or not they can actually do this and do a Punisher in the MCU that's worth a damn, that actually makes you feel like it's the same guy that you watched in 2 seasons over there on Netflix? Secret Invasion. Secret Invasion is going to tell me so much about their capabilities to do espionage, to do mystery, like true mystery, not slapstick whodunit Scooby-Doo shit, actual mystery, right? Political intrigue. Armor Wars and Secret Invasion are going to do a lot to convince me whether or not they can actually do that. They have not proven to me that they are capable of doing something serious. Espionage without the comedy. Lies and deceit without the humor, right? True loss and consequences without the get out of jail free card of going to your afterlife and bringing someone back to life. Not T'Challa, but everyone else. Mm-hmm. Prove it. Prove it.
So originally we were told that at some point before Black Panther 2 Wakanda Forever, we were told that we were going to get a Wakanda series on Disney Plus.
Yeah. Okay.
Now supposedly there's going to be a Disney Plus spinoff of Black Panther called The Golden City.
What happened to Okoye? What happened to the Okoye series we was getting, y'all? What happened to that? First of all, the Wakanda series was announced before Black Panther 2. Mm-hmm. So this is not. They announced a Wakanda series that Ryan Coogler was pinned to write and direct before Black Panther 2 was finished. And now they still talking about spin-off series, this. Even in between there, we didn't had other shows that they rumored. What happened to Okoye? No, he was getting Okoye. Even this latest update, Golden City. Okay, sure. I don't think that's going to happen, y'all.
I don't either.
I don't think it's going to happen. Somebody had a list of the phase 5 and 6 projects that are coming out, or that they at least anticipate coming out over the next 2 phases. I didn't see a Wakanda project anywhere in there. No Black Panther 3, no Okoye, no Wakanda series. Nothing. The perpetuation of the Wakanda brand depended solely on its second outing. It depended on how well the second movie went. They made the decision, we're going on without T'Challa. Now they have to prove that the franchise is viable without its protagonist. And surprise, surprise, nobody's here for it. Not to mention that they can't get people to watch the good TV shows that they have coming from the MCU on Disney Plus.
Yep.
One timer on Loki, one timer on Falcon and Winter Soldier, one timer on WandaVision. People don't go back to watch that stuff. They're not going back to watch that stuff. And then the new projects that they're putting out are not encouraging them to do so. There was never a plan. Or the plan was so fluid that it allowed them to duck in and out of these situations and continuously restart within this timeline. That was their plan. Was to keep everything so loose that they had the flexibility to get in and out of narrative tracks of where they were going. One of the things from the Marvels that they were talking about cutting is the incursion. Now, fam, after an hour and a half of what is sure to be a bunch of, you guys thought you were going to get me out of here, and I'm not, and I'm Captain Marvel, yay, right? What's sure to be that we were actually going to get something awesome, and two realities were going to collide, and our leaders, our protagonists, were going to be separated. One of them was going to end up in another universe. One of them was going to stay here, right? That's the most interesting thing that I've heard come out of the Marvels since we start talking about that movie, is that there's going to be an incursion. There's going to be a collision of realities. Yes, please. Sign me up. Oh, you mean you cut that in post? It's like, who's driving the bus? And I can't even lay it all at Kevin Feige's feet, because when you got this many things going on at one time,
one person can't control the whole thing.
It's like, what is he supposed to do? He can't be everywhere at once. He can't tell you how stupid your idea is when he's over there telling this person how stupid their idea is.
If he's doing that at all. We want to say he should be doing that, but maybe he's not doing that at all.
They can't get people to watch this stuff. So what makes you think that they are going to greenlight a project for yet another TV show that's probably going to cost more than all of this city-based stuff they've been doing? Moon Knight, Miss Marvel, Loki wasn't very practical. Falcon and Winter Soldier was very city based, right?
Yeah.
Everything that they've been shooting has been on in local locations.
Mm-hmm.
When they have to do the entire season in the volume, right? That's expensive. When you have to go to Wakanda, that shit gets expensive, especially since we spent 2 movies mainly talking about, what, 3 regions? And spending most of the time in the Crown Palace? Yeah, we get a River Tribe mention. Yeah, we went to the Border Tribe in a deleted scene. And we went to go visit the Daniel Kaluuya's tribe for like 5 minutes total.
Yeah.
You haven't even built up the surrounding areas around Capital City.
Mm-hmm.
So now, even if you were to do something like Wakanda, you are going to have to spend so much money. All the money that Mandalorian probably just spent on, and is going to continue to spend, bringing Mandalore to life, that is what you would have to spend on Wakanda, because, again, we don't know nothing about it outside of the Capital City.
Yeah. And even then,
it would be so expensive. It would be risky, because the project that you just put out, the film that you just put out, underperformed. And not to mention, none of the TV shows do well, even the good ones. So even if by some stroke of fate you were able to recreate the magic of Wakanda without the king, it probably still wouldn't drive subscribers, and it probably still wouldn't make you money. So tell me again, when is that Wakanda series coming out?
I don't even think I had a date.
And I'm not saying that because that's how I want it to be, but I've realized what the game is. Most of the stuff that y'all are thinking you're about to get, you're not getting. It's just not gonna come. Don't come. Don't come.
Any other Marvel takes? I saw Ultron might be in Armor Wars.
Yeah. Give us your thoughts on the plethora of stuff we talked about. Lucasfilm madness, MCU diving, DCEU laying up a dud. It's a lot of bad stuff going on in TV. Give us your thoughts. Like, share, film. Like, share, and subscribe. Come back next week for more Behind the Cape.
Absolutely. And like you said, make sure you subscribe, because we'll be doing this once a week. And make sure you check out our previous video where we discussed Captain America's rumored synopsis with the new Falcon that Marcus hates.